Aloha Hawaii, this is Poka Lainui and you are listening to Hawaiian Potpourri. Today is the 30th day of September in the year 2012. Welcome to the program or welcome back to the program. Our telephone number here is 524-1080. Give me a call. We'll put you on the radio and see what you have to say about some of the stuff that we had talked about in the earlier hour. And what we talked about was the transition of people, their mindset, moving through different stages as they become more familiar with a particular topic. It's a process that I call the process of education, the process of learning, and the processes are separated into 5 distinct areas. The first being attention getting, the second being confusion, the third being familiarity, the fourth, what is the fourth? I have the word in my head. I know what I want to say, and it's not discretion, but and then I've forgotten the word. And then the fifth is practice. And it bugs me that I cannot remember the word, and I know it's bugging you because you know the word and you're trying to say it's so and so, Poka. Okay, I'll get around it. I won't get stuck on it. Within that process, and that's discrimination. That's I think the discernment is the word I'm trying to get. Not discrimination, discernment. When you're able to discern after becoming familiar with it. And then finally is the practice or the action stage. So again, attention, confusion, familiarity, discernment, and practice. And once you practice, then it becomes part of you. The idea of Hawaiian sovereignty, the idea of Hawaiian self-determination, as we see it develop here in Hawaii, and as we see it being developed in the international arena, is following these stages. And as we see that development, we can see the eventuality of it coming to fruition. Johann Galtung says that the collapse of the American empire will reach its pinnacle in 2020. By that time, you will see the accumulation of all these various forces come to play and essentially sit on the United States. He had estimated it earlier at 2025, but after seeing the George Bush administration, he moved it up 4 more years and said, 5 years, and said, no, it's going to occur in 2020. Now, who is this guy, Johann Galtung, and his predictions? Is he a prophet? Well, he has been able to foresee and prophesize based on his, essentially he's been trained as a mathematician, and that's where he had his first doctorate degree in, but he also has been trained to look at a wider perspective than just in this particular issue or within mathematics. So he looked at economics, and understanding economics, you need to also understand social movements, cultural movements, understanding principles of human rights. And being in the field of inquiry for so many years, he became the father of peace studies and has been recognized in that field and has been used as a consultant with many governments as well as with the United Nations on transcending the limitations that we work within. Sort of breaking out of the box, coming up with different ideas. But he was one of those, I don't know if there were many others, I haven't heard of anyone else, but he had predicted the downfall of the Soviet Union in the year that it would fall, based on what he had seen in terms of what was being protested, the women's movement in those, various places or satellites of the Soviet Union. And so he predicted when it would occur. The CIA was caught totally off guard by the fall of the Soviet Union. Well, he's also saying empires do fall. If you study how they fell, you can understand how the United States is beginning its fall at the present time. And so this is what he's projecting. What I'm saying is that as we see the American empire fall, it will also be opportunity for others to achieve their independence or their freedom from the colonization of the American empire. And it's not only in Hawaii, but you will see Guam, American-occupied Samoa, and many other places that are held not politically but economically strangled by the United States. And you will have opportunities for self-determination. As we engage in the opportunities for self-determination, it behooves us to begin the planning to that self-determination now, rather than that occurring when the collapse really comes about. I have developed a sort of another system of analysis of that collapse and of decolonization. And the decolonization process is important, the first being recovery and rediscovery, knowing who you are, where you came from, what your rights are, and then you go through a mourning phase, an anger phase, bitterness phase, and then you come out of that phase eventually, or hopefully, by going through a dreaming phase and thinking of where we should be, what are the new visions that we need to project for ourselves. And from the dreaming will come the consensus building, and out of consensus building will come action stage. Now these stages are very important. Sometimes when people don't go through the dreaming stage, they just go through the recovery and rediscovery and the mourning phase, and then they explode into independence. Then you see a lot of that danger, that hatredness, that racism, that biting against one another, because they still continue to operate under a culture of DIE, and so all you have is freedom, independence, but still the killing, the backbiting, the madness of that society being carried over. So there's really no change in effect if you don't change the deep culture, if you don't do that examining and that mutual dreaming of what the future can become. So that's why dreaming is so important. And that's what essentially we had been talking about in the first hour. Sorry for taking so long, and with my apologies, we do have a caller. Our telephone number here is 524-1080. Let's go to the telephone lines. Aloha, caller.
Hi, aloha kakai.
Yes. Hi, aloha, Palipo. Good to hear you.
Hi, brother. How are you today?
Fine.
Wonderful. I caught part of your stuff last night. It was very nice with Brother Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Very informative.
Yes.
I just want to let people know that we have a Soviet Union right here in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's known as the legislature here.
Okay.
And I want the people to know that on October 3rd, which is, October 8th, I'm sorry,
okay,
which is next Monday, yeah?
Yes.
Not this coming Monday, not tomorrow. There's going to be a protest at 2 o'clock in front of the state capitol, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And the protest is addressing Act 55, the Public Lands Development Corporation.
Yes.
Okay, people don't understand basically what this is all about. This is not, and yet this is not new to Hawaii, yeah? The first one of these actions was, of course, the statehood, territory overthrow. And then, of course, the original of this type of legislation came ashore in 1492 with Cristobal Colon, known as Christopher Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 o'clock, if the people have a chance to come on down, just to show face. We cannot wait for January, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
January is too late.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start contesting.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And coinciding with what you were saying earlier this morning, the same situation. To me, University of Hawaii has always been a think tank for the Council of Foreign Relations. Yeah. Basically, there's been a lot of astute graduates from there. Basically, I remember when Harlan Cleveland. Remember him?
Yes, I do. In this 1964, I think, about there. He came in and left in about 68, I think it was,
and people would find out who Harlan Cleveland was. He had greatness, But funny how we all get distorted, And people who are more educated than others sometimes take it further, But normally the average guy like me, I get educated, and it's to basically to help myself, and my family, And some people get educated, they want to change the whole world around them, And this is very dangerous, very dangerous. So these things are happening. It's an ongoing thing, basically. It's just sometimes they put the foot to the pedal a little more than others, which normally cause aggressions and wars and what have you. But because there is no war, there is no aggression, doesn't mean that it's not going on. They just do it in the civilized way, in the corporate boardroom, And these things are all tied, as Brother Mike has mentioned, GMOs and all of this, basically, Agenda 21. Agenda 21 basically calls for a limitation on the world population. And basically, according to their statistics, there's going to be a couple of billion people who will have to be eliminated. Maybe that's why they're going to Mars. But anyway, brother, I appreciate, as Brother Mike says, I appreciate your program. I appreciate your website and your dedication to Puno.
Well, thank you for saying so.
It's always good to what you call. We go through life, but we don't thank the people, And then we go to the funeral,
Hey, no, don't get there too.
Oh, he was a good man. I remember when we used to do this, And they're all right. Pat him on the back. Give him one hug. Slip on $5 if you can.
Yeah. But don't talk about funerals too quickly now.
Come here, brother. I leave you, brother.
Take care. Thanks for calling. Aloha. Yes, something just came across my mind. I say this not as self-congratulatory, but I have been given an award. I will be giving the award on the 2nd of October at this Hawaiian convention that is occurring at the convention center. I and 3 others, in fact, for Lifetime Achievement Award in health. And when I got this notice, I said, hey, what the heck? My lifetime not over yet. Well, are you suggesting that I should retire or something else is going to be occurring soon? And of course, it was of course kind of them to make that offer for the award. But don't be too quick in in calling it a lifetime. Or to talk about funerals brought up, Filippo. But I take your general comment with appreciation, especially with regards to the protests and this, act, as you say, Act 55. I noticed that in the newspapers, Donovan De La Cruz, Senator De La Cruz, have escaped censure by the Democratic Party. An attempt was made to censure him because the Democratic Party's platform talks about sustaining the environment, and yet with Act 55, there's so many ways of going around the protection laws of the environment that they called for his censure. The party itself, those in charge of the meeting there, did not agree to censure him, but it does tell you that things are happening. People are concerned about Act 55, and there's a strong move to repeal it. The governor's administration is behind it, and he has been castigating and calling people names as being the usual suspects of what is that? I forget the term that he used. We do have another caller. Our telephone number is 524-1080. Give me a call if you would like to join us. Aloha, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Polka.
Yes, good morning.
It looks like a good morning, and your program's going along beautifully.
Thank you.
I have a good a note that sounds hopeful. Well, I don't like to use that word, but actually it's not hopeful. It's happening at now, so that we don't need to hope for it, because Bolivia has granted a Bill of Rights to Mother Earth.
Wow.
Guaranteeing pure water, pure air, and non-exploitation of her land, because these people in Bolivia realize that Mother Earth is going to stop producing and giving the fruits of her labor to us if she continues to be abused. Now, I think as women, we can take a lesson from this in realizing that if abused, Mother Earth will not produce. And as human women, we can look at that idea and think that it's true for us. If we continue to be abused, we will stop reproducing. We won't need contraception. We won't need anything. And I think that is a great thought for women to try to hold on to control of their lives to some extent. You know, when I say control of our lives, it means we acknowledge that we need each other, so that we're not taking that control because we don't want to control ourselves and putting it on the control of others. That seems to me what's gone mad in our culture, is that control that is so desperately needed. But it should be self-control, and this is what the West has not learned. And so they want to control everybody else. So that seems to me a major problem that we're not going to get at the root of, and we will carry that cell into the future, which will be a repetition of what we're going through now. But at least Bolivia, who has heard of that in the last couple of years? A little country like that has the common sense, because they live close to nature. They live very close to nature, as the Hawaiian people had done. For some reason, the West seems not to have. I don't know, maybe they do come from outer space. I don't know. They'll have to become more well-grounded, so to speak. But anyway, I thought that was a cheerful note.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Can you send me that Bill of Rights by email?
Well, I'll try to research it. I didn't save it, but I will try to find out where it is again.
Okay, I'm interested.
These kinds of things tend to disappear quickly.
Yeah.
But at least,
we need to
I'm not making it up. I couldn't. Okay, good morning.
Thanks for your call. Aloha. Wow, that's interesting. And as she was reciting the Bill of Rights for Mother Earth, if we go all the way back to the Magna Carta of human rights of people with regards to government and the limitation of government, there was also a Magna Carta at the same time with regards to Mother Earth, the right to be able to relate to Mother Earth, the right to be able to, very much in the Hawaiian sense, to collect from the bounty of Mother Earth, so that you can go and get cordage, you could go and get wood, you can go and interact with Mother Earth. That has not been elevated as much as the Magna Carta dealing with civil rights. So this brings about that reminder as she talks about the Bill of Rights of Mother Earth. many of that kinds of talk had been made, at least when I was active in the international arena, as indigenous voices were brought before the international arena. We spoke about Mother Earth as being needed to be respected, to be protected, not violated, and what we were seeing was the violation. And when you violate indigenous people, you at the same time are violating Mother Earth. When you mistreat Mother Earth, it's a violation of indigenous people. So that concept was very strong there, but not to the extent of a Bill of Rights for Mother Earth. So I think that's very interesting. And yet there has been these movements in the environmental world, and that's part of the, how should I say it, the next series of rights that had been developed as we talk about generations of rights being developed. That is part of the new generation of rights being developed in that area. So you have the first generation of the Bill of Rights, which is human rights, the right of people to freedom, to self-determination, the right of free speech, of fair trial, etc. Then you had the second generation of rights, economic rights, social rights, cultural rights. And then third generation, the right of environment, the right of women, the right of children, and then a fourth generation of human rights, the rights of indigenous people. So this Mother Earth development of the Bill of Rights is, I think, an expression of the rights that came out of that second generation of human rights. Very interesting, and I'd be very interested to come across that statement.
Kaulana na pua o Hawaii, kupa ama hope o ka aina, iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, pala pala anunu me ka paka.